Mr. Sam Webb.
Mr. Sam Webb.
How you guys doing?
Good. Good.
Hey, man, thank you so much for helping us out today. We know you came in kind of the last minute filling in for Mr. Blackwell. But for those that don't know, Sam is the insider. And Sam, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. If you can hold on for us for a second, we'll be right back, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Thanks,
you.
Sam. Regina. Welcome back to the Queen of Carolyn Show. This is Regina, the Queen of Carolyn, and I have Derek, who in the house?
Derek Denham, the Prep Star King.
Prep Star King in the house.
Right.
We have on the line Mr. Sam Webb. I'm going to give you a little bit of background, a bio on Sam Webb. Sam Webb is a managing editor of Go Blue Wolverine magazine and GoBlueWolverine.com. Mr. Sam Webb, are you on the line?
I am.
Okay. But you know what? Mr. Sam Webb is also the co-host of the Michigan Insider Morning Show, weekdays on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA.
Plug.
His column appears every Thursday, also in the Detroit News. So you can listen to him, and you can also see him in the paper.
Yeah, you can read him.
In the column.
Right.
You know, if you can read it, you can read the pictures. To me, I probably just have to read the pictures. Okay, just kidding.
Sam, thanks for coming in again. I really appreciate you.
No problem, Derek. Anytime, man.
I just want to tell us, a lot of times you introduce people and they want to know the relationship. And for those out there listening, we talk about teams and people that help people. There's a young man, Jonas Gray, that Sam is very familiar with. And when Jonas he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars in NFL. And at the time, Jonas was an up-and-coming football player for Detroit Country Day that had no exposure. No one helped put him on the map as far as recruiting or media. Stan Edwards, who he had on the phone, I believe, contacted Sam Webb, and Sam came out and did a story on him. And from there, everything took off.
History.
That's right. So I want to say thank you to Sam for that, for helping the family. And that's what Sam does. He's the guru. We call him the insider. If you have a kid that's has questions about recruiting or you're a parent, Sam is the one to come to. So, Sam, we wanted to get your opinion on the topic first and foremost on what are some of the things you work with a lot of kids over the years. What's some of the things you think that can be done to help these guys from going broke when they play professional ball?
Yeah, man, it's that's an age-old problem to me. I think first and foremost, on the college level,
right,
there needs to be a greater adjustment to preparation on that level. I think the NFL has, they have put together a lot of information, a lot of presentations, a lot of seminars. They got the rookie symposium. They give them a real crash course in the do's and don'ts. They give them examples of guys that have gone down the wrong path and wound up bankrupt, wound up without all the money that they signed for. They also do, I think, an outstanding job of trying to set them up on a path, on a course. But I think that's too far down the path for a lot of guys. I think right now we are at a time in collegiate athletics where the money coming into these programs, and granted it's mostly the big programs, but the money coming into the NCAA, let's just put it that way, should allow for another position on college staff that can address this kind of preparation, how to pick an agent, financial planning, and not just involving the student athlete, but also anyone in their in their circle, be it family or mentor. That's the kind of I think preparation you need to have now. And some universities are expanding their staffs in that capacity. You have directors of player personnel, for instance. You already have positions on the coaching staff, not on the coaching staff, but in these programs that deal with the scouts that come in and give the scouts information on the players and that kind of deal. It's right now on a very cursory level where they talk to these kids about what they need to do beyond college, talk to them about how to sign in with an agent and that kind of thing. But I really think the schools now to have a person on staff that can help them interview agents, help them vet agents, help them talk to them about financial planning and doing more than just a week-long symposium or that kind of thing. Having it be a comprehensive sort of approach. As a guy looks like he's about to head off to it, be it a senior year, that could be part of the process. Or if a guy looks like he's going to leave early, you start maybe for a semester working on that kind of thing and helping him do the type of preparation necessary so he doesn't suffer some of the pitfalls that a lot of these guys do.
Right.
So it sounds like that the colleges need to develop a curriculum.
I think so. Exactly. I think that's and it's obviously a very narrow group of students that you're talking about, but that's why you don't need a bunch of staff. I mean, you can have one person for whom that's part of his duties, one of many duties, but that could be one of them. And I know that this is something that colleges are looking at. I mean, right now when you talk about nurturing student athletes, it's much more than just coach, professor, academic advisor. I know at Michigan they have a director of athletic counseling. And I'm sure there have been stories on 60 Minutes about him. Greg Harden is his name, and that's a position that you see more athletic departments bringing on because they see that there are challenges that are unique to student athletes that they need to address. So same thing for the upper level, for the high level student athlete that has a professional course that he's going to go on. He has a unique series of challenges that he needs to deal with, and I think that athletic departments can do a better job of servicing that.
So is that counselor, Mr. Sam Webb, is that available? Is that at every school or just at?
No,
Okay.
no, it's not.
Okay.
And I'm using Michigan as an example because it's the program I'm most familiar with.
Right.
And it's not, in all fairness, it's not necessarily the best example because Michigan is, the third, when you talk about values of football programs, for instance, I think their program is number 3 in the country. I think it's worth over $800 million. So not every athletic department has a cash cow like that, but we're talking about one position. We are talking about building a stadium. We are talking about hiring a coach that costs you $6 million a year. We're talking about putting a person on staff and maybe giving him an assistant, and one that deals with the student athlete that has a professional track that he's on. And like I said, that's a very limited number of student athletes. Not so limited at some places, but still the type of number of students that doesn't take you. It's not necessary to go out and hire a team to deal with. We're talking about just having a guy on staff that you can
a compliance officer, so to speak.
That you can dedicate to this very specific need that I think colleges, universities can do a better job of meeting.
Well, you know what? You can only speak for what you know, and you're one of the big part of one of the big threes in the country. So that's an example. The coach or the counselor doesn't have to make a lot of money. You can start at a Division II school. It could be a Division III school. I think it's the thing of putting it in place. It has to start. It needs to be somewhere. It needs to be in the curriculum. It needs to be there because whether you're a big school, small school, the Division II. Or even Division, do they still have Division III?
Yeah, they still have Division III.
I mean, they have Division II or Division III players that actually go pro.
Yes, not too many, but yes,
right?
there's exceptions. Correct.
So but if they start in college, they can also prepare them for the world, for the business. They don't just have to be a college athlete to go on broke.
I agree.
They could be a millionaire, not even for our sports.
That's true. I agree.
But then you
one of the things that I really see, and I know that athletic departments are being much more progressive in their thinking about how they approach preparation. I had an opportunity to participate in a training session for aspiring athletic directors, for aspiring upper athletic admin officials, and we had guys from Providence. I know a lot of people in Detroit familiar with Mike Jackson, who's out there now, who used to be an assistant at UAD and Michigan and a number of places. But we had men and women from Texas, North Carolina, SC. I mean, all over the country. So there are, about 30 to 40 aspiring athletic directors, and they talked about the unique challenges that they have to prepare for in this day and age. And one of the people that they consulted as part of this seminar was this athletic counselor that I'm talking about. So I know these are things that are being talked about on a number of campuses that they need to meet, need to do a better job of meeting student athletes where they are, because not every kid that comes through has the type of support structure necessary to deal with some of these challenges, to answer some of these questions. And some of those that do have that kind of support, sometimes even the support system isn't prepared to deal with, hey, how do I pick an agent?
Right.
Who do we talk to as far as financial planning is concerned? So you can really, this is something, like I said, very unique clientele, very small clientele, if you will. But one that I think as I said before, the colleges and universities can do a better job of helping out.
Well, Sam, again, we got to take a break in 2 minutes. But before we go, I just want to ask you, how does it make you feel being that person that's worked with so many kids throughout the state, throughout the country, and you may seen that kid that was a superstar in high school, and then you see him years later going to this financial crisis? How does that make you feel?
Yeah,
man?
that's for me. I started out really quickly. I started out going. I started out obviously based on my interest in Michigan. Going to Michigan and getting into just covering the football program. It started out as a fan thing, but the longer you do this, the fandom part of it. It starts to take a backseat to the relationship part of it. So you just want to see guys do well no matter where they go.
That's
you
true.
root for guys no matter where they go. So it's always great to see the success stories, but when guys don't make it, man, it hits you worse than any loss ever could.
Yes,
so
it does.
I've talked to many parents as their kids got ready to. One of the most vivid memories was when I don't know if you remember LSU defensive end Sam Montgomery. His mom called me when he got ready to go to the draft and was talking about some of these same things.
Right.
Oh wow.
Who should they talk to? Who should they get with? And, I did my best to give her a few numbers to call, but this is the kind of thing that colleges can do.
Correct.
Moving forward.
Well, Sam, thank you so much, man, for giving us that insight again.
We
could talk on and on about this subject matter, and we definitely gonna bring you back when we got more time. But again, and bless you, because again, Sam has helped a lot of kids out there. He's helped some of my family, and guess what, everybody? He may be helping yours in the future. So, Sam, hey, God bless you, my man.
Well, let me just say this.
Appreciate it.
Let me just say this before you leave, is that the most important thing in life, if you have someone you can call and ask questions to, if you don't get it at college, if you don't get it at home, or you don't know where to go, if you have someone you can call and that parent felt comfortable enough to call you, that's all that matters, because you're going to give them the best sound advice. Is that correct?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Okay.
If I can help someone with putting them in contact with someone, there's no question.
Okay.
That the people that I've formed relationships with over the years, I'll do my best to help them out. So Derek knows that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, no
all
doubt.
Right.
And
okay.
again, you can listen to Sam on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA,
yes.
and you can see him on the Detroit News. And Sam, we're going to be seeing you soon. We're going to go into a break, and we'll be right back with the Queen of Car Loan Show.
Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Welcome back to the Queen of Car Loan Show with Regina Woodard. And before we went to break, we were talking to Mr. Sam Webb from WTKA, and Sam brought a wealth of knowledge. And one thing that stood out to me, we were talking about asking the question, what can be done to help athletes from going broke? Mm-hmm. That goes to financial literacy, as they were saying. And again, that's so important. And even what Regina does, when you want to go buy a car, a lot of times you just don't know what you're doing. You don't know the people to talk to. Regina talked about it's important to have the right people to talk to, someone to talk to. Sometimes you can go to certain dealerships and they're just going to say whatever it takes to get you into a car.
Whatever it takes.
But with Regina, and trust me, I know people that went to her, that's not the case. So, again, kudos to Regina. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, but if you need that car and you need someone that's not going to take advantage of you, please go see Regina at Longhammer Chevrolet.
I do want to say this, that I sell new and used vehicles, but what I look to do is educate the customer. And the purpose of our show every Saturday is educate and give knowledge. We're not the typical sports show.
Correct.
We're going to talk about sports, but we're going to educate you.
That's right.
That's what I do when you sit in front of me, whether you're looking to lease or you're looking to purchase. I'm giving you advice on what you should do, because a lot of times people don't know what to do when they're going to purchase a vehicle or lease a car.
And that's why it's so important, because, again, I look at everything as a team. Being a sports guy, team. Being a sports guy, being in that whole environment is so important. Even in entertainment, what I do, it's so important to have the right team. So, again, Regina, Queen of Car Loans, hey, she's the one to go see when you need that experienced person helping you.